After a fairly dull year in 2013 for smaller companies, 2014 has seen quite a nice pickup in interest. So we've seen money generally return to stock markets, and people have renewed enthusiasm for investing in smaller companies. I think the fundamental outlook behind smaller companies remains substantially unchanged. Yes, lots of business-specific opportunities that we find within our smaller companies, but the overall context is of a region growing strongly relative to the rest of the world, which is fairly lackluster, but a region that's growing at a slightly slower rate than it used to 5 or 6 years ago, which is understandable given the world economic outlook. And the valuation of smaller companies remains reasonable, and I wouldn't say super cheap, given the sluggish growth outlook, but very fairly valued for those with a longer term horizon. We're fully invested in Aberdeen Asian Smaller Companies Investment Trust and have drawn down a bit of gearing as we've seen some opportunities arise in markets. We've been adding to various holdings on any signs of any price weakness or any volumes of stock going through the market. But fundamentally the portfolio remains very much as it has been. We're seeing a mixed outlook for companies depending on which industry they're in. We have quite a heavy exposure in the consumer sector, and those companies are doing very steadily. We've got a smaller exposure in financial companies across the region, again doing quite well. Exporting companies, slightly more mixed outlook, depending on to whom they're exporting and the demand from those countries and other companies in the world. But overall, we see our companies doing as well as we expected. So no great surprises, either on the upside or the downside, very much in line with our expectations. The attraction of Asian smaller companies is that you have a very rich field to farm. There are thousands of smaller companies doing some very exciting things. So as an investor, they're great opportunities if you have the resources to do your research, which fortunately we do with the best part of 40 investors around the region, spending a lot of time trawling through the various regional stock markets. So they're great opportunities within smaller companies, some great growth opportunities, and also the possibility of mergers, acquisitions, and corporate activity. So for us, it remains a very exciting area of investment.